Hello everyone and welcome to Fanatic. My name is Jesse and today we are doing a retro toy review going back in time and opening up a fresh carded figure from yesteryear. More specifically, my yesteryear, the 90s. This bad boy right here is sealed, mint on card, and this is Rush. It is a Mega Man's faithful robot dog. And I'm gotta tell you, I'm pretty excited because I seem to have lost my Rush figure. And besides, mine was kind of beat up and old. So wherever it is, rest in peace figure. And plus, I have lost his jetpack. So at least I found that as well. So we're just going to get right into this and open this thing up. A little bit of background first on Mega Man. The animated series started off in September 11th, 1994 and ran until, I believe, the winter of 1996. Now, Mega Man had been coming fresh off the heels of a successful string of Nintendo and Game Boy games and was currently entering the foray into Super Nintendo and beginning the Mega Man X series. But apparently they thought it was a great idea to have an American cartoon. And not just any cartoon, specifically an American cartoon. And let me tell you, this cartoon was terrible. Now, as a kid, I really enjoyed it. In retrospect, it was kind of wacky. But a lot of good action here, a lot of good sequences of all the characters from the Nintendo games and all that kind of stuff. So for a kid like me that was obsessed with Mega Man, I have probably two big obsessions of my childhood as it pertains to video games. One is Sonic the Hedgehog, but two, and sometimes arguably number one, would be Mega Man. I loved Mega Man games as a kid. To this day, I still own all of them, including the Mega Man X games. You know, I'm a huge fan of Mega Man. It is obviously fallen off the deep end of irrelevancy now, but in the 90s, by far, probably my favorite games of the time. Just amazing games. Anyways, they made this show, and they had all the characters, all the bad guys and stuff. They even had his sister Roll, who barely played a part in the video games, but they decided to incorporate her into this because, of course, they needed a female character. They even had a decent voice acting crew to go along with the show, which included the talents of Ian James Corlett, who was famous for playing Mega Man in this series, but also was the original Goku in the English dub for Dragon Ball Z here in the States, as well as Cheetah in the Beast Wars show. But it's Beast Wars, and we don't talk about Beast Wars here. Anyways, they also had Scott McNeil, who was Duo Maxwell in Gundam Wing, as well as playing a part in the original Dragon Ball Z Ocean dub as Piccolo, and was Rat Trap in Beast Wars. But again, we don't talk about Beast Wars. No. Anyways, so I am no Dan Larson, but I will say the show ended probably because it never had a fucking schedule to go off of. As a kid, I would have to sometimes get up at 5 a.m. with my older brother, and as you can imagine, getting a kid in elementary school to get up at 5 a.m. isn't going to happen even for a Mega Man cartoon. We did it a few times. Part of the problem as well, though, is randomly it just wouldn't be on. So you would get up that early. And back then, as you know, the TV Guide channel or the Preview channel that had the scrolling thing, you would just sit there and it would say it was coming on, and then it would be a different cartoon. So, or they would change the times altogether. So you never really knew when it was going to be on, and it was just so hard to catch. And again, I was a child. Why the hell would I be waking up so fucking early for? So, regardless, the show failed. The toys were around, but not really around. We all know how that was, especially back in those days. You know, when you're, unlike now, you just get in your car and you go. Back in those days, you were a small child and you kind of just had to rely on your parents. But, never fear, as a kid, I was very resourceful, as was my brother. And just through various ways, we were able to get some of the figures. So, I do actually have Mega Man right here, the original Mega Man, with his, Fire Blast shit that looked like fire for some reason. Still works, but he obviously is very battle damaged and scraped up because this was my original figure. It was actually a hand-me-down from my good friend Robert. Shout out Rob. And yeah, just took good care of it, and here we are now. He's still around. Also, my brother's toy isn't even mine. I stole it. Is Proto Man, the brother of Mega Man, voiced by Scott McNeil, the legend, and still works. So that was pretty cool. His little Scuffy, because again, it was an original figure of my childhood. And then an actually very rare figure, Snake Man from Series 2, and his thing doesn't really work. Yeah. God. What's wrong with you? It's like you lure the hot girl in the bed, and then it just sort of goes bad on you, huh, buddy? Well, anyways. So they also made these little teeny figurines. Now, as a kid, this is an original of mine. It was Electric Man, and this was Flame Man, and this is Bomber Man. These are originals. Those were mine from when I was a kid. I've lost the other ones that I had owned, except for Mega Man, and then I stole this from my brother. And so I have those two. And then recently in a video I had done, I actually was able to secure these three across 2 different videos that I had to go back to Omaha, Nebraska for, and got them very cheap. These actually can get kind of pricey online. It's kind of weird. But thankfully, I got a good deal on these. And then, of course, these, were mine to begin with. And I would be remiss not to mention that I also have Bomberman from Series 1. Minus the bomb. But shout out to LXC, the League of Extraordinary Collectors on Facebook, and extra shout out, to the Toy Fellas, Jason and Sal, who managed to hook me up with this bad boy right here. Now, some of these figures can get, really unreasonably pricey. Bomberman wasn't too bad. He doesn't have his bomb, things like that, plus he's open. But things like this guy from Series 2, they did not make a lot of Series 2. Because again, the toys didn't sell that well. So it was kind of weird. They kind of showed up and then they disappeared. So as a kid, I was not able to get all the other figures from Series 2. We're going to forego Series 2 because nobody gives a shit except me. And to be honest with you, again, you're not going to be able to find those things anyways. So here it is, Rush right here. And the cool thing is he was able to fit Mega Man on there. So there's, I have everyone now on here. I do have a Guts Man. Guts Man's covered in weird attic bullshit. Long story. Maybe I'll do a video on it someday. I do have Guts Man. Guts Man right now is out of commission. Guts Man needs to be cleaned. Guts Man has guts all over him. We'll just go with that. But it's nasty. So he's going to get clean. So getting Rush, I have all of Series 1, and then I have Snake Man of Series 2. I believe there's Drill Man, Light Man, and a few others. Electric Man, and I don't really remember right now, and I'm too lazy to go look it up. Anyways, again, like I said, I'm not Dan Larson. I'm not an expert in this shit. Anyways, so there it is right there. So without further ado, this beautiful, beautiful card right here. It's just like you, as a kid, you pull it off. Right off the peg. Your parents buy it for you. It's a wonderful day. Pains me to open this just because Mega Man carded figures, they're kind of a hassle to get, and they can get kind of pricey. I got a good deal on this one, but even then, it costs a little bit of money, and, fuck it. So, off the card. There he is. Oh, this feels so good. I haven't done this since I got a Rush back in the 90s. Oh, what a Rush. So, here he is. Rush, the dog wonder himself, included with his jetpack. God, I don't even remember the jetpack that well. Man, I was a terrible child. I would lose shit all the time. And there he is with his little jet. So they don't give him the coil. I think that's kind of weak. But given these toys literally had like one accessory for each one, I guess I'll accept it. The legs kind of bend right in there. Man, his joints are stiff, man. This is a fresh toy. Whew. Feels good to be the first person to fuck with it right here. Oh, yeah. And then you put Rush on his stomach, and you can have him, he has these little wheels here, so you can have him go around. I mean, it's weird, because that's this is kind of his jetpack feature right here. That's what he would look like in Mega Man 3. Well, Mega Man 3 is his first appearance, but in other games too, that's what you do. Sidebar, for all you Mega Man fans out there, it always really grinded my gears. And Mega Man 3, when he was first introduced, Rush was an amazing ally to have. He was such a great dog. This thing, you would call him down. He was impervious to damage. You would use him, and it would work just fine. It took a little bit of points off. When you had the jet, it was like a timer. But man, nothing could stop this damn dog. You could just smack right at the walls. You could get hit. With each passing number of Mega Man games, 4 to 5 to 6 to 7 to 8, he became as useless as could be. Just as useless as tits on a bull, as they say. And I'm telling you this, awful. Just fucking awful. I mean, 4 and 5, he was okay, but each game, he got more and more touchy to the point where if he even remotely touched anything, he would go away and you would drop like a sack of rocks to your death. So, anyways, that was just a little Mega Man frustration. Years of pent-up anger. But here he is. Also, he can go to the beat. So, you know. So, that's pretty sweet. And then you get Mega Man on here for the main event. All right, see? How cool is that? So you got Mega Man sailing on through with his dog. Man, this really takes me back. I haven't done this kind of shit since I was a little kid. Because like I said, I've lost Rush. I have no clue where he is. Oh yeah, and then a little side bonus feature. He's just terrified at where he's going. Although he has no tongue, which is kind of weird. But he's also a robot, so I suppose he doesn't need any kind of tongue or anything like that. Anyways, so here he is, looking as cool as ever in his glory. So actually, they really kind of put a lot of effort into this Rush toy, if you think about it. You got Mega Man can go on top of him. You gave him a little jetpack. And really, any figure can go on him, because even Snake Man has the little holes right in there. Proto Man does. Bomberman does. You know, you could really have fantasy warfare with these figures. And his fat ass could even go on top of him. So, really, kind of a neat feature they put on there. And, you know, he has a pretty wide degree of movement here. He can wheel around. He can head bob and open his mouth. So, I mean, all things considered, they did what they could for you. So, I don't really know what else you would want from him except the coil. That's just me because I'm a Mega Man junkie, so I want the coil. But, regardless, still a pretty sweet figure. I'm still really happy with it. But, I gotta say, Mega Man will always hold a special place in my heart. And really glad I was able to get this figure. Shout out to Mako for this figure, actually, of Mad Max Toys and Collectibles out of Georgia. So, again, really cool things I got to do here. Really glad I got Bomberman recently. Really glad I got this Rush figure. And hopefully I'll be able to get more. I'm determined to get the rest of these figures. The only problem is they are expensive as hell, like I said. So the only thing I have seen, and they're rare. So I saw a Drill Man for like $90 used that was sold. So unfortunately for me, I might be just SOL on that and unable to be finishing the whole set unless I get really lucky on some deals or something. I would even take kind of a scuffy one for cheaper just because I don't really care if they're scuffed up. I mean, Mega Man just looks horrendous, you know? But he's a childhood figure, so a lot of memories there. A lot of sentimental value, if you know what I mean. So, anyways, that's all I have for you today. Rush, really cool figure. Overall, I'll give him a 10. Fuck it, you know? Need a new scale for this because these old toys, you really can't scale them for much. And again, considering all the things he can do, he can have ADHD right here, and fine by me. 10 out of 10. Whatever. It's Rush. So, thanks for joining me. More to come, and I will see you in the aisles.